This is where we're taking a look at Auburn. Good, bad, ugly, frustrating, all the things that took place against Oklahoma. And first thing we're looking at is just kind of passing game, the stuff that was good. I mean, Jackson Arnold didn't have an awful day, did miss a couple that should have been touchdowns, but hit on a lot of things and had a pretty good day. But we'll look at some of the schemes. Right, the very first one, there's just a big pass down here in the yellow zone, what we call where he backed up inside your own 10. And right here, Coach Freeze loves to take shots. I mean, and you can't set records and throw 99-yard touchdowns if you don't throw it deep. And right here, throwing it deep, as you see, looks like a quarters type look, and all they run is just a straight post and almost like a max protect right here. Nobody else gets out on the route at all. So he's just got one guy in the route, not even a play action. So just a straight race, your guy going to the post, and man, he gets over the top of everybody. A little bit underthrown, but right there, great job coming back forward, making the play. Again, taking shots, being aggressive down here in the yellow zone. I thought it was a really good game plan whenever they saw that. But again, a single man route. I mean, best player on the football field, Cam Coleman, running the post, laying up there to him. Give your guy a chance. You don't have to be a perfect throw, but you have to give your guy a chance to make a play. And that's what happens right here. Ends up being an explosive play, and one ended up being a really big drive in order to get some points. Same drive right here, and of course, Oklahoma had 10 sacks and tons of pressure. And right here on this one, you replace the pressure, to replace the blitz with the football. And that's what happens right here on this one. And they're running slants, which is not a bad combination right here. So we are getting blitz. There's a lot of space right here, off safety. This guy's stepping down to Robin, eyes on the quarterback. And what they do right here that I think is a little bit off is you see how deep this slant gets, right? He's sitting there at, this is 8 yards deep. Safety's able to get down there to him. And as far as looking at the quarterback's footwork, punch plant, slide, step up, and then he throws it. I mean, it's one of those, you let this guy get all the way to this spot where the safety is actually lined up before you throw it. Really what you should do is one-step slant if you're going slants right there to replace the blitz, and he should be probably 3-4 yards deep, and now you're at least getting the ball in space. Again, this is a 1st and 10. We don't have to push this thing up to 10 yards to run a slant off of off-man coverage. Just run a one-step slant, just like everybody would on the inside, 3-step slant on the outside, and you got to get that thing out faster. I mean, this is one of those you just let the guy run into coverage and get lucky right there. You don't throw an interception. I do like replacing the blitz with the football like they do, but, man, not the route and just the depth and everything on it's not great. Get the ball out of our hand quicker, and I don't like how deep that slant gets and all the way into the safety. This is another great look of just being patient. You think you're getting a post right here, you're going to take 2 for 1, take the corner, take the safety, and you're running your Y cross. So he's coming across. Looks like he's running some sort of a crosser as well. Back's getting out, so you're getting a high-low there to the backside. But right here, again, you're getting pressure. They're bringing 6 guys, and they do a pretty decent job stepping up and making a play right here and taking people on. And Jackson Arnold does a great job being patient. All right, so he's looking for this post, and you see 2 for 1. Now you find your crosser. There's really nobody left there because everybody vacated with the blitz. And, man, I thought this was a really good football play, standing in there, throwing the ball accurately. And this guy running away from man-to-man. That's what happens right here. And, of course, makes the guy miss. Again, if you guys can just get completions, it doesn't have to be 3-step drop and take forever, have to hold up in protection. You've got to get completions quicker. And, I mean, this was a 3-step drop. They did hold up in protection. And, I mean, whenever they do that and they can throw accurately, I mean, they got some guys on the outside that can make people miss, turn into an explosive play. But this is a really good football play. Great patience there by Arnold as well, sitting in the pocket with some pressure. Last drive ended up in a field goal, tied game. Again, some blunders here. Got it, ball on the 3-yard line. Very first play off of it. You're just running a straight fade, one high look. You know you're getting pressure. So you got a 7-man pro here. Not just a one-on-one route, because the last time they only had one guy on the route. This time at least you got 2. And, of course, this safety's played a little bit to the field. One-on-one here, and they run a stutter right there, and then they run past the guy, and again, taking a shot, man. You're down there in the yellow zone. Again, you're not going to throw a 97-yard touchdown if you don't take a shot, and that's what they do right here. Throws it up. Again, is this a perfect football? No, but you're throwing it to the best player on the field, and he goes up, makes a play for us right there, gets us up around midfield, but then, of course, after that, just a comedy of errors, end up having to punt back from like our own 20, but we'll look at that later on as we get into some of the frustrating things that happen. All right, right here we get a little bit of motion. Looks like he's going to the flat, some sort of a stick route. He's running a stick route as well. Again, they're playing a lot of match concepts right here as far as protection, and they're bringing a lot of linebackers. And right here, I'm not sure what Arnold's looking at. If he likes that, he can take that right now, or he can take that. I mean, either way, my eyes are over here. Get the ball out of our hand. We're getting pressure. It's 2nd and 10. It doesn't have to be a perfect look. Those guys don't have to be wide open to throw it. Throw it to one of those guys. Now, of course, he does sit in the pocket. He does a good job right here back. He just gets just enough of that linebacker but then he stays on his feet and gets in the face of the quarterback, which is a really difficult throw. But he gets lucky to the backside, just running a stick route and just throws it to him. My guy's wide open for whatever reason. This corner just drops outside, spot dropping, eyes on the quarterback, and doesn't drive that route like the rest of them. But again, there are guys where there is space if you throw it on time. And again, I just don't like these concepts. Everybody's so static. There's nobody running away from man to man or even running through zones. Everybody's just sitting down. And there's really nothing if you do have protection and he doesn't like what's there, there's nothing left. I mean, everybody's just so static with their routes. But right here, finds one all the way to the backside where the guy's open and makes the guy miss. Again, when you get the ball in space and you get completions, they do create big places. You got guys on the outside that can make guys miss. All right, right here, again, replacing the blitz with the football, bringing both these linebackers, and they're just playing some sort of a zone. You got 3-on-2 here. You got, a safety in the corner here. So this is a good job just seeing, hey, I'm going to go and replace the blitz with the football, and he's just running a sit route. Now, again, this ball could have got out, a second earlier. Throw the ball right now. Like, hell, we're getting it hot. Get your eyes around to the quarterback. I mean, it's one of those things that you got to work this shit in practice. You can't just sit there and just be like, you know what? In game, we're going to freaking hold up against six-man blitz, and everybody's going to be great. Right here, this is one of those exceptions where they do hold up, and they can just throw it to a guy who's wide open. Again, explosive play, replacing the blitz with the football, just not enough times. And again, having to hold up, even still having to hold up on this. Quarterback's still getting hit. I mean, it's one of those, the guy's been wide open for how many steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps, and there's nobody guarding him. And now we're just getting the ball out. Like, what are we doing? Get the ball out sooner. It's 2nd and 11. Guys, we got to have a lot better plan against these hot routes, guys that are uncovered. Just getting the ball out of space. Here's something I do like. I mean, it is 2-on-2 down here, and they're just throwing a hitch screen, quick screen down here to the bottom. A couple things I don't like. Obviously, I don't like the quarterback having to throw this thing, 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. We'd love to catch it right here so that when we do go vertical, we're already at the line of scrimmage. But instead, we're catching it 5 yards deep, which kind of sucks. Good block right here by number 5. And then we have 1-on-1, makes that guy miss. Now we get 10. Could have done this a little bit more. Of course, they did this and they threw a post. That should have been a PI call, but instead we'll see that later. But do this more, man. Get the ball out there in space. They're showing pressure. Again, this is a 2nd and 3. Spit the ball on the edge a little bit more. Let our guys block and make those guys tackle us. I mean, that's one of those, again, that's why you've got those receivers in there. That's why you pay them. Let those guys eat, give them the ball a little bit more, and let them go. Another thing right here, you just got an RPO. Just going to fade. Great throw and catch here. Cam Coleman, obviously, only receiver in the route. And if you like the inside zone, hand the inside zone. And this is another thing that Freeze talked about in the past. Whenever you're a little bit overmatched with the defensive line, just call an RPO. Let those guys run block instead of pass setting and those guys teeing off on your quarterback. At least now you're going to get hands down. And this is a pretty comfortable throw right here. A little bit of play action. He punch plants, and now he drives that thing up to the taller receiver and goes up and makes a good play. So this is a great spot for this football. And, great job one-on-one making a play. And, of course, that old line's firing off right here. They're running inside zone, so they're able to get hands down. They do have a free hitter with number 12 right there coming off the edge. So that's something you got to look at as far as getting some play action. And they use tight ends all the time, but they never throw to them. They never give play actions to them. They're just basically bodies in there. Those DBs don't have to care about those guys at all. Because right here, I mean, you got a daggum corner running off the edge, which should never really happen with a tight end. This was probably the biggest run of the day. This was the big run of the day. And then they're just running power, and they don't block everybody. They still don't get to the front side. Again, you got tight ends in here. 2 tight ends that are supposed to double their up, and neither one of them can take care of this end, and they definitely don't get a piece of that linebacker. All that does is bring extra guys in the box. So one thing I'd say get faster guys on the field. These tight ends, they're really not doing much as far as their job, and they're just bringing extra guys in the box like they do right here. Back makes them miss, though, and they run power, and then, of course, just great effort. Runs, splits those guys, makes them look like 3 Stooges here. That's running each other, and then right there spins off of it. So this is a great effort play. But again, hey, spread the box a little bit more. Get more receivers out there. Give those guys more options to flip the ball on the edge whenever they do get pressure. Those tight ends aren't doing much for you in the run game. They are not doing anything for you in the pass game because you never throw them the ball. So just go ahead and get some more receivers out there. Let those guys with speed on the field. Really hard to score touchdowns when you got a bunch of slow guys on the field. And this is one of those plays right here. This is a 4th and 11, and it looks like they're running some vertical switches, whatever, maybe a curl flat, but whatever it is, man, Jackson Arnold steps up and you're thinking, dude, you got to throw the ball. You got to throw the ball, and then he takes off running and runs for the first down, which is an awesome play. But I know that those coaches right there, as soon as he takes off here, they're like, dude, you've got to give us a chance to throw the ball. Makes the guy miss, though. Plays fast. I mean, he's a pretty athletic dude. I mean, it's one of those things you got to play to his strengths. He can run a little bit. Don't want to run him too much where he gets hurt, but it's one of those things. Use his legs a little bit more in the run game. Get plus in the box. But right there, man, awesome play there on 4th and 11. Gets up for a first down. Big play there for Auburn. Really keeping him in the game. Right here on the power read, I think they get a little bit lucky on this one because if you're just running traditional power read, this would be your read. And he does get straight upfield. They get upfield and they hand the ball. Looks like they block the linebacker right here to the front side, which they do get enough of them. But the end gets upfield. But, I mean, just enough speed right there to get around the edge. And there's tight end actually doing something, blocking somebody. I appreciate that. And right there gets into the end zone. Big touchdown for them. Obviously, they go up by 1 here in the fourth quarter on the road with everything that went wrong. I mean, it's one of those games, man. You're finding a way. And the defense obviously playing great, but right here, find a way. Power read. Read may not have been great, but right there, found a way to get in the end zone. So those were some of the good things that Auburn had. I know there's a little bit of a negative tone there with some of it, but now really some of the frustrating things they've obviously got to work on a little bit and just think about some. And right here on this one, man, 6-man blitz, and man, Auburn was sacked 10 times. You can't do that and expect to win. That's really tough. But right here on this one, I mean, pretty decent job here up front. They're picking everything up. If I've got a quarterback and he's got this much time, cool, man. You gotta live with that. You gotta get the ball out of your hand. And again, everything's so static. You do have this tight end right here that's working across. He's driving it, but then he tries to find his back for a check down. Later in the game, they're able to find these backs for some check downs. But right here on this one, like, dude, you saw that guy was checking you. He's right there on you, and all you do is you turn and you try to box out. Like, do you really think you're a viable option to get the football right here with a guy sitting on your back? You've got to burst one or the other if a guy is sitting right there on you. You can't just sit there and be covered up, and that's when the quarterback gets down to him. So right there, quarterback's fine looking at you. Dude, burst. He's probably going to give you the football, give you a little ground, give you the football, and distribute it to you. But right there, man, being too static in the check downs, being too static in a lot of the routes where there's really not much going on. Because right here, there's pretty good pro. I mean, this would be a coverage sack if I was the defense coordinator. But right here, man, somebody's going to eventually get free. Those guys are fighting. You can't hold up all day in pass pro. And right there, just a big sack right there. This is early in the game, obviously. But first sack of the day, just because everybody's just sitting there so static. Another really frustrating part right here. I mean, this is an absolute bomb of a kick right there. It goes from the 30 all the way down to like the goal line. Man, this is a huge kick. But right here, man, if you're catching the ball over your shoulder like Willie Mays on a punt, dude, let it go. There ain't no reason to sit here and do this. Right? Turn your back and catch it like Willie Mays. Man, don't do that. Just let the ball go into the end zone. Let it go where it goes. Man, they're trying to give you the football. Stop making it complicated. He runs like Willie Mays back into his own end zone. And then surprisingly, when all your momentum was going opposite of where you want to go, typically they're going to run you down. And that's what happens right here. They run him down. I mean, tackle him on the 3-yard line, set him up in a bad position. Right there, a long way to go for the offense. Should be up around the 20-yard line after letting this go into the end zone. All right, so big explosive play on 1st and 10. Now they're in daggum 4th and 33. I mean, I get it. Sometimes things happen, holds, false starts, all that. But now accommodative errors. Skip the ball back there. Skip the ball back here. And, man, punter scoops it. Kick the ball, dude. What in the world are we doing? Now, of course, you'd love for this guy to be a little bit more aggressive and maybe working a little bit more square. I guess he's seen that he's somewhat unblocked here. But he does have an angle to him. Great scoop, great play. Now you got to kick it. But instead he's trying to make him miss. I don't know if he's got the option to try to make him miss and run for a first down, which, guys, it's 4th and 33. You're not running 33 yards. It's just not going to happen. But right there, maybe he's trying to slip him and then kick it. But, man, I mean, obviously the snap wasn't there. I mean, I get it. But get the ball out, be a ball player. Just because it's not perfect doesn't mean that we got to sit there and freak out and give them the ball on the 12-yard line. That ended up being a big play. The first points of the day there for Oklahoma. Another thing, I mean, not real frustrating, but, I mean, it's one of those things like, dude, getting a 50-yard kick, you got opportunity on the road, and we leave it, wide right, way wide right. But it's one of those things, just think about the difference you could have. You missed the field goal as well. One-score game, good chance to change the momentum in the game and tie it up right there in the third quarter. I say maybe the most frustrating part of the entire game was the last drive. You're down 5. All right, we got a long ways to go. We're backed up on our own 8. But all they're doing is twisting and bringing 4. And, man, we're running so deep. And, again, we're running static routes. You see everybody just stopping at the same spot. By the time they stop, the quarterback's already got pressure. Again, it's 2nd and 25, so we got long yardage. But we've got to get a completion. You can't sit there and just sit there and force the ball down the field 40 yards. And, I mean, right there in the last drive, you don't gain a daggum yard. You literally go backwards into your own end zone. That's really frustrating. You can't even get a completion. They're right here. They're running a little bit of shallow. It looks like he's running across. They're running verticals. And again, can't hold up. I mean, you get a little bit of pressure. He steps up and just gets speared, man. This is like Goldberg back in the day. Just boom, dude, get the ball out of our hands. Like, give the quarterback an option where he's not getting speared like, early 2000s Goldberg. It stinks, man. We can't get daggum completion. We can't even get a yard in the final drive. And last one right here, man, just a one-on-one. One-on-one here with his tackle at the end, and just bull rushes right through him. This is a unbelievable rush. Great strength here by 32. Just puts the hand right in the middle of his chest. Boom. Just gets under his shoulder pads and just he backpedals him right into the quarterback, man. That happened really quick. I mean, that's tough as a quarterback. You know it's 4th and 29. You got to try to buy a little time and let our guys get close to the sticks. And that guy just bull rushes right through the guy like he's a middle schooler and, makes a big play, dude. Really frustrating. Again, I know I've said it a couple times, but on the last drive to literally go backwards like 30 yards into your own end zone and give up a safety, man, that's a tough look right there. Last thing we're going to look at is just kind of be a little analytical about these calls that were made and the controversial things. And right here on this one, man, talking about this first one that was a fumble, return for a touchdown. I can see why they call it incomplete. All right, so right here, if you're just looking at the complete steps after he catches it, I know it's hard to see, but you got, your step when you catch it, your foot hitting the ground. All right, but I'd say the first step is 1, 2. That third step is not on the ground when that ball gets knocked out. So I'd say like 2.5 steps. He is turning up, man. This is a, bang, bang call. You could call it either way. I would call it a catch, man. It's one of those things you got to call it a catch. But I think early in the game, they're just like, hey, we don't want to dictate this game that much. We're going to call this incomplete just because. That's the way that I think they probably, approached it. But to me, man, could be either way. I feel like if you got the thing secured and you turn upfield, like they do right here, man, I'd probably call it a fumble. But right there, it's either way. I could see it going either way on that one. I know we just talked about that was returned for its fumble, but this one actually maybe pissed me off a little bit more. So your fade ball, awesome throw by Mateer with a guy in his face. All right, so we don't count that first foot that gets down, just like we did in the last one, okay? So now we got 1 step, 2 steps, third one barely hits the ground, that ball is out. So I'd say 3 steps, all he's doing is going straight. But you got to finish the catch. I mean, there have been so many incidents in college football where they called this exact play incomplete. And for whatever in this situation, I know it's a 1st and 10 right there around midfield, bringing the blitz. Great throw by Mateer, man. He drops it right in a bucket. But, man, that ball came out. I mean, if the ball's sitting there rolling around by the cheerleaders, I'm not calling it complete. I don't care what happens. The ball was rolling around. I mean, it's one of those things. This is frustrating because they called that one incomplete, and this is so close. I mean, I understand they got 3 steps down, but he didn't make a football move at all, and this thing gets knocked out. I'd love to hear what you guys think about it, but, I mean, to me, this one's a frustrating one as well. I mean, if we're going to be consistent and call those incomplete, let's just be consistent. And, again, call this one incomplete as well. But instead, both calls go for the Oklahoma side. Man, I know it's frustrating. Then we got this hideout play that everybody's already talking about, man. This is, think about it. The one that they called incomplete, that took 7 points off the board and they ended up kicking a field goal. So there's 10 points right there. That could have been a swing. And then right here, just giving them a free touchdown without having to work because they deceive you. It should be a penalty. Obviously, everybody's talked about it. This referee crew, they talked about it during the game, about how in the previous games they got flag happy. It was the same thing with this one. They want to be the star of the show. And right here on this one, man. And the other frustrating part about this is they were sitting there looking at it with the replay booth before they let them kick the extra point. You could see them sitting there holding it up. Why they didn't call down and say, hey, this is an illegal play. Let's stop the game. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. But instead, they let them kick the extra point and move on after just like 10, 15 seconds. Everybody knew it. Like, as soon as it happened, I was like, dude, was that a hideout play? Like, that should be a penalty. They can't do that stuff. How'd that guy get that wide open? And the broadcast didn't show it because they couldn't find the angle because it's an illegal play. The guy came literally from the sideline. Obviously, he acted like he was coming off, didn't go off the field, and then he went. Guys, how they didn't call that is unbelievable. Again, that's 17-point swing, which, hell, Oklahoma may have scored right there. But, again, it was a 2nd and 22 when this happened. Oklahoma may have scored, but I doubt it. The way the game had been going. So there's a touchdown off the board. So that's 17-point swing. Again, I know being on the road, there are things that happen, and you've got to overcome them. But then again, right here on this one, they end up scoring on this drive. But, double pass, we saw that screen earlier. This time you're getting a guy out there on the post. Again, Cam Coleman on the post. He's going to win. Basically tackles the guy before the ball gets there. Doesn't give him an opportunity to make a play. This guy's out of position because he's a slap dick, and he's running. He's got his back turned. And, It's just one of those things, man. You've got to throw the flag on that one. He's not in a position to make the call. This is bad fundamentals of officiating, and somebody's got to help him out. That guy's got to help him out, throw the flag or something. Instead, everybody's just sitting there waiting. I mean, it's so obvious. It's unbelievable. I mean, they get lucky and score on this one because Jackson Arnold bails them out on that fourth down, I think on the very next play. But, man, like, I get it. You're on the road. They're not going to give you that many calls, but when it's blatantly obvious or something that's so illegal that everybody knows it, you got to make a call, and you got to help the team out that's already fighting their butt off. With all that being said, man, I know it was a frustrating game, and man, Auburn doesn't have any weeks off. They're going to A&M next week. I mean, it's going to be tough. It might be a tougher environment going to College Station. I don't know. A&M's going to be good. They're going to be rested. They got a bye week. Schedule does not do Auburn any favors, but they've got to be, resilient right here. They got to find a way this next week to get a win. They have to split these games if they want to, achieve the goals that they have in mind. So this is going to be a really big week for them. But there were some good things. I think they got to fix a few things as far as scheme, especially against pressure. Obviously, they got to stop running static routes, just sitting there. And whenever you're guarded, you got to keep moving. You got to give your guy opportunity right there at quarterback to find an open guy. But if you're sitting there covered, there's nobody open. But appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you comment down below anything that you think about this Auburn team, any of the frustrations. And we'll see you guys again next week.